First, I want to get to a column my sports editor Barry Lewis wrote about OU's decision to move their opener from Saturday to Friday against Temple August 30th. Barry, you said that decision was sickening. It got a lot of traction on social media, so I want to hear on your right now your opinion on that move.
Well, it was sickening, especially for those of us who care about high school sports. It's just going to suck a lot of the air out of that Friday night that would have normally all been focused. All the attention would have been focused on Friday Night Lights. Instead, the majority of it's going to go to OU, and I just, I just hate to see it. I understand why it happened. TV calls the shots, and although OU has promised it won't happen again this season, at least, you can bet that it'll probably happen again in the future.
It's funny. Last week, Joe Castiglione texted me to let me know the news, and in a second text, he told me this is a unique situation and that it won't happen again. And I have to respect Joe's wishes on that it doesn't happen again. I think, and I'm going to oppose Barry a little bit, a counterpoint. I think it's a neat deal for Oklahoma because they're on a big platform. I know they're on a big platform already, but getting that Friday night game the day before the season starts, having the national TV market to themselves, that's something that you really couldn't avoid if you're Oklahoma. You take advantage of that. Personally, I'm looking forward to a Friday night OU game because it's something that's never happened before. And I do understand the impact it does have on high school football. But then again, it's week 0. I don't think we're seeing a full slate of games while we are seeing some really big games. I think this is a good jumping off point for Oklahoma football this year, especially their first year in the SEC. From a marketing standpoint, they can use that when ESPN talks about new SEC member Oklahoma. So I see it from the college football point of view to where I think it's a big deal for Oklahoma and it's good for Oklahoma. But I say that really feeling, like Barry said, I do feel bad for those players that are playing, those families of players that are playing too.
So Oklahoma State played a Friday game last season, and it did not resonate even a fraction as much as this has with regard to reaction. And to my surprise, honestly, Oklahoma State sold that game out at a time when they had lost 2 in a row before that. This resonates the way it does because it is OU, because there's 80,000 plus in that stadium, and because it has such a pronounced trickle-down effect on high school football. A lot of those people would have been at a game on Friday night. A lot of those people, Eric, have kids involved in high school football, right? Those people, I mean, the OU fans. A lot of those people have kids who play football, or they're in the spirit squad, or they're in the band, marching band, or whatever. And they typically, that's kind of the template of Oklahoma football. Fridays are for the preps and Saturdays for the college programs. But Barry had a great stat too, that over the last decade, the University of Tulsa has played 19 Friday games, 11 of them at H.A. Chapman Stadium, and sort of like OSU, that didn't resonate as a huge deal. Although with me and Barry, we would always say, and other people would say, it's a shame Tulsa has to play that game on a Friday because it's a really good game for Tulsa, and people who would love to have attended that game, that Tulsa game, they're going to be at a high school game. So it's the other way around. The high schools kind of hurt the TU attendance, and then this time it'll be the OU game will hurt the high school attendance and the shine on opening night for the preps.
So we had other local colleges play Friday night games. So Barry, I want to ask you, is the uproar more so about OU's game being on the opening week of high school, or is this something that you do not want to see with colleges playing on Friday nights?
Both. I think being the opening night, I think that's what really hit hard this time because, as Bill said, OSU played middle of the season game on a Friday night last year, and it really didn't resonate like this move has made. So I think the fact that it is on the opening night, I think that's what really stings from a high school aspect.
Moving on to the college. Oh, Bill, I'm
just
sorry.
to say real quick, Juwan, and because unlike college football in most cases, and the high school schedule opens with a bang, big games right out of the gate. So a lot of like the Battle of the Burbs, Bixby, Owasso, and Holland Hall, Cassia Hall, bunch of big Booker T. Muskogee, a lot of big time games that opening weekend, and so but OU will command the spotlight on that Friday night, that first Friday for the high schools.
Moving on to college
Yes,
basketball.
you have
John.
more.
No, Barry. No, go ahead, Barry.
You have more big games. Just following up to what Bill said, yes, you have more big games on each of the first 3 weeks of the season overall than you have for like a midseason game. So I think that adds to the situation with OU moving to Friday night.
Right.